thrilled to be here with all of you today. Super excited to talk to you about MedicareCENTER. Speaking of which, I've been working with Agent Pipeline for almost 3 years, since before MedicareCENTER was even launched. And through that experience, I can tell you that not only is Agent Pipeline very knowledgeable and very helpful, but they also really care about their agents. So again, thrilled to be here with all of you. And I'm very excited to show you the new features and enhancements in MedicareCENTER. So let's dive in. You may notice that I am doing this demo from a different URL than MedicareCENTER.com. This is our training and demo account, so don't pay attention to that. You will want to go to MedicareCENTER.com. If you haven't created an account yet, you'll click Register. To register your account, you'll need your NPN, your first and last name, email address, ignore that there's a number there, phone number, and you'll want to create a password. Ignore that there's a password there. Once you click register with all of that information, you will receive an account registration confirmation email from MedicareCENTER with a link that you'll click to complete the registration of your MedicareCENTER account. From there, you will just log in every time you return to MedicareCENTER. You'll log in with the NPN and the password you created at registration. There is a forgot password option here if you need it, and we'll log in. We're going to start with call recordings, since not only is that probably the most talked about feature for this year, but also it kind of brings everything in MedicareCENTER contact management together. If you have been to MedicareCENTER before and logged in, you will notice that this is a different homepage than it used to be. We will come back to that and talk about why that is and how it works. But for now, when an agent logs in for the first time since September 8th, I believe, you as an agent will see this message. It's a personalized message letting me know that MedicareCENTER now provides free, compliant, and automatic call recording and storage per CMS requirements for all your sales calls using your unique MedicareCENTER agent phone number. It tells me what my phone number is and lets me know that all calls made to and from my unique MedicareCENTER agent phone number are recorded, accessible only to me as the agent, attached to my contacts in MedicareCENTER Contact Management, stored by MedicareCENTER for 10 years per CMS regulation, and downloadable to my personal device. Every agent is going to see that. When they either click the X or click away, it will actually close that message. If they need to, they can always go to their account and find their MedicareCENTER agent phone number there. Returning to the dashboard, this message will return every time they come to the dashboard until they click the Get Started button. That will then permanently close this message. But as I said, you can always go to your account profile and find your number. MedicareCENTER agent phone numbers are generated based on the area code that is here in your MedicareCENTER account profile. So this is the number that you either registered with or you've come in since and updated that phone number. This phone number here is a Salt Lake City, Utah-based area code. So what the system attempts to do is first acquire a number within that zip code, that area code. That area code is full. There wasn't a number that could be assigned. So the system chose another area code that is also local to the Salt Lake City area. If I change this number, it is not going to affect this number. This number always remains the same. The only exceptions would be as we expand the feature set for call recording, we are looking to add, for instance, the ability to choose your own area code. That's not here yet, but that would be something that you as an agent could opt into. We will never just change this. So again, changing this phone number is not going to change this. It's only going to change the number that this is forwarded to. So this is the number for the device on which you're answering your calls. That might be your mobile number. It might be a landline or a voice over IP solution, and those will always work. I've been asked if I need to change my area code, what should I do? So if you need a different MedicareCENTER agent phone number because the area code of the phone number you put here is not local to the area where you're selling, you should just email support@medicarecenter.com, include the area code you currently have, the area code you would like to switch to, and they can give you the directions from there on how to update that and acquire a new phone number. I've also been asked if I forward a number to my MedicareCENTER agent phone number. So if I publish a different number and it is set up to forward to this, will that work? And it will work. However, you will lose the caller ID on all of your incoming call records. This phone number cannot be a toll-free number because our system is unable to assign toll-free numbers on behalf of agents. If you're using your mobile device, it is very important that you enter your MedicareCENTER agent phone number as a contact in your own phone. There's another number you will need to enter, which I will put up here on the screen before the end of the training. That's the MedicareCENTER operator number. Probably the easiest way to think about how call recordings work in MedicareCENTER is that there is a virtual operator. That operator knows the unique phone number for each agent, and that operator is connecting your calls for you, whether it's inbound or outbound calls through MedicareCENTER. It's connecting you to your contact. We've talked about how the MedicareCENTER agent phone number is assigned. Let's see it in action. I can be on any page in MedicareCENTER, doesn't matter which page. I'll go here to my contacts and show you. I need to grab my phone number. One moment. Okay. This is what the contact will hear.
Thanks for calling. Please hold while we connect you to your licensed Medicare insurance agent. This call will be recorded for training and quality assurance.
Okay, now as you can see, that incoming call banner is right up here. So it shows me the incoming phone number. I can pop up the call script that I need to read. This you still have to read even though you heard it on the whisper, the IVR that you could hear when I had my phone on speaker. This is the TPMO required disclaimer, so that you would need to read both of those. While I'm here on the call, I can link it to a contact. I can create a new contact, or I can add it to an existing contact. So I am going to create a new contact. And let's see. Okay, right now we do have a little enhancement we need to add where this phone number is not populating down here into the contacts phone number. So as you can see, I copied it. I'm going to paste it in, but that's something that we'll have fixed shortly. Once the call gets disconnected, you'll see the incoming call banner closes. That took a little longer. Sometimes that happens in our testing and demo environment. So for Mary, all I need to save her contact record is her first name, her last name, and either her email address or her phone number, depending on which one you set as the primary communication method. I'm going to save her record now. Contact was added successfully. It's going to refresh, and now I am in her MedicareCENTER Contact Management contact record. So up here I can see all of the top level information about Mary. I can pull up the call script again if I need it. You'll see here that the incoming call that I got was recorded, and it's here in my activity stream on the overview page of my contact. From here, I can download the call if I need to. You can see that this is another system-generated activity. So there was one when I created the contact. There's another for the incoming call. I can add my own activities as well. And I can add my own reminders. So for instance, if I wanted to remind myself to call Mary back tomorrow, don't forget, call. Great. Now, when I have that call with Mary, I'm going to see this incoming call recorded. I would have another one if I did another call with her. And I can click on it, and again, I can download the recording, and I can add an activity note here, so I can add notes about how the call went. Now, for the most part, this is as far as you need to go on an incoming call record. The only time that you will be required to download is if CMS or the carrier comes back to you and says, hey, Deja, there was a complaint from Mary, and we're going to need the call recording from September 12th. I would download it, and then I would submit it. No one but you is able to download these calls other than our back-end engineering team, who is responsible for the storage of those calls. So nobody's going to download that. If you want to listen to your calls, if you want to try to improve your own sales process, you definitely can download them. And you can download them to any device on which you're logged into MedicareCENTER. Please be aware that once you download the file, as soon as it's downloaded, it becomes your responsibility to store securely. It's likely that your beneficiary's personal health information is in that call recording. So be very careful. If you don't need to download them, probably better not to. If you do need to, it's probably best to delete them when you're done. From the dashboard, I can also see all of my activities across all of my clients. And as you can see, I missed a number of calls from this phone number. These are going to stay up here at the top in blue so that they grab your attention. Once you connect them to a contact, then they drop here into the recent activity across your contacts. You can download them from here. You can also link to a contact. So if I need to download this call so that I can remember who this was from, I can download it. And then once I remember who it's from, I can link it to a contact. Again, just like I did from the incoming call banner that was up. Here's another button for the call script if I need it again. For existing contact, I can do a search and select a contact. And then I'm automatically back in her contact details. And now I have another incoming call recorded from her. And now you can see that I have one fewer number here, and I have an activity here for Mary. From Mary's contact record, if I need to update any of her personal information, I can do that here. And I'm going to put a zip code on this record so that you can see how to view available plans. So once I have saved Mary's information, you'll notice that the View Available Plans button becomes available. Right here is where I would send a scope of appointment. In Details is where I would add provider, prescription, and pharmacy data. And that is a search based on the zip code. And I can start typing here. It's the same for prescription and pharmacy. For providers, you can add as many providers as you need to for this contact. Same with prescriptions. For pharmacy, we do have a restriction right now to just one pharmacy. If you don't enter a pharmacy, it will estimate the cost in the plans based on mail order pharmacy costs. Once I've sent the scope and I have at least her zip code, state and county information, I can view available plans. From here, it's easy to get back to Mary's contact record or edit her contact information. You can sort by plan type, effective date. Again, because I didn't enter a pharmacy, it's showing me that's based on mail order. I can filter by carriers. By default, I'm only able to see my appointed plans. I can remove that filter to see all plans. I can, as the agent, compare up to 3 plans. This is my agent view, so I'm just looking at it here. Shortly, we will have a share button here where you'll be able to send this quote, this plan comparison, out to your contact. So that is coming very shortly. Back to the dashboard for just a moment. The dashboard, while we're here, gives you, as we mentioned, your recent activity across all of your contacts in contact management, and it's going to give you the inbound call log for any missed calls. It's possible that you didn't actually miss the call, that you just were not at a place where you could enter the contact details yet. So from here, you can do the same thing. That is the functionality for incoming calls. So now let's take a look at outbound calls. With outbound calls, this is where you'll want to remember that MedicareCENTER virtual operator concept. Because when you want to call your contact, you're going to click the phone number, and that is going to initiate the MedicareCENTER virtual operator. The way that outbound call works is that operator will call your number first. When you answer, it will then call the contact number. And then when the contact answers, it will merge those two calls together so that the two of you are on the call together. When I talk about the operator, especially if I ever refer to it as a 3-way call, which it's honestly not, people want to know if they can conference another person in. And unfortunately, you cannot. It's just the 2 numbers together that will be recorded. So I am going to click on her number. It's letting me know it's initiating the call. It's got the call script pops up automatically. And what's going to happen is my phone is going to ring. So the number in my account profile is the number that's going to ring. You'll pick it up. It's going to ring from your MedicareCENTER agent phone number. That's the phone number you'll see on your caller ID. You'll answer. Once you answer, it will call your contact. While you're waiting for your contact to answer, you're going to hear their line ringing. That's when the call recording begins. So if I am on the phone and it's ringing, and I call to my dog to come in out of the backyard, or tell my kid to pick up her socks, or whatever it may be, that is going to be recorded. That's part of your recording. Your contact is not going to hear it, but it will be part of the recording at the beginning. For both inbound and outbound calls, MedicareCENTER does store your recordings for 10 years as required by CMS. That is the case even if you terminate all your contracts with MedicareCENTER partners. So if you simply stop being appointed to sell, your contracts expire, you will not be removed from MedicareCENTER. You'll be able to still access it. You can still go in and get into your contact management, access your call recordings. You just won't be able to quote and enroll. In some cases, we may terminate your access to MedicareCENTER. If that happens and you receive a complaint further down the road, and you're being asked to provide the call recording for Mary Lamb on September 12th, you can request that from support@medicarecenter.com. Let them know your NPN, the name of your contact, and the date of the call, and MedicareCENTER support will provide that to you. So to recap on an outbound call, you initiate an outbound call to a contact from their contact record in MedicareCENTER Contact Management. You click on their phone number. You'll receive a call from your MedicareCENTER agent phone number. You'll answer it. It will ring to your consumer and they'll answer it, or their voicemail will pick up. If their voicemail picks up, you'll be able to leave a voicemail for them. And then if they call you back from their call log, that will be on your MedicareCENTER agent phone number, and that will automatically record the call when it comes in. For an outbound call, the number your contact is going to see on their caller ID is your MedicareCENTER agent phone number. When a contact calls you, the number that will call you is the MedicareCENTER operator number. The MedicareCENTER operator number is 254-271-0085. That's the number that will ring your phone when you have an inbound call. The consumer is still just going to see they're dialing your MedicareCENTER agent phone number. If you call them back, that will be the number on their caller ID, as I mentioned, and then they can call you back. It's really important that you add that MedicareCENTER operator number and your MedicareCENTER agent phone number to your phone contact list, especially on a mobile phone. The reason why is that some phone settings, some cell provider settings can cause your phone not to ring from an incoming call. In that case, what happens is the operator, the virtual operator, doesn't know that you're not hearing the ring. It's hearing the ring. So when it hits your voicemail, it thinks, okay, the agent is connected, and then it's going to dial out and contact the consumer. If the consumer answers at that point, the agent's not going to be on the line with them. They're going to end up leaving the agent a voicemail. So obviously that's not an experience that we want to have happen, and that's why it's so important to add both of those numbers in your phone. As I also mentioned, and we've seen several times throughout this demo, this has replaced the previous homepage in MedicareCENTER. The reason we did that is because the call recordings are connected to the recent activity here in the dashboard, as well as the activity stream in your contacts record. Ensure that you have easy access to all your call recordings, that those are front and center. The dashboard has your recent activity across all your clients. It also will tell you the number of confirmed applications you have, and that's across all 3 of our MAPD enrollment options. And then in MedicareCENTER Contact Management, you have these snapshots where you can click to filter down to all of the contacts who are in that new status, which all of mine are. We hope that you love quote an e-app in MedicareCENTER Contact Management, and we hope that it will serve all of your quote and enrollment needs. If for some reason it's not working for you and you need to launch one of the other platforms, we've just moved it up here under your name in the navigation. So here I can launch Medicare app, Medicare link, CSG. We've moved the need help button over here to this menu as well. It doesn't matter where the call recording lives. So you can take an inbound call from MedicareCENTER and end up quoting and enrolling through Medicare app, and that's completely fine. If you have to provide that recording to CMS or the carrier, it doesn't matter which tool you used. How to add a contact from an incoming call. So let's look at a couple other ways you can do that. You can click Add New. As I mentioned, all you need to save the contact is their first name, their last name, and either their email address or their phone number, depending on which you set as the primary communication method. Click Create Contact, and it will take you into their contact details, where you can add providers, prescriptions, pharmacy, send the SOA, all of the things that we have seen in quote an e-app inside of contact management. You can also import contacts. If you save them as a CSV, this is the list of fields that you can import. The column names in your CSV need to match this. There's a template you can download as well if you have questions about how that should look, and then you can fill that in with all of your information. You can sort and filter. There is also a card view. You can toggle back and forth between list and card view. By selecting one or more records, you can also delete and export. From the contact list in Contact Management, you'll see the name of your contact, the sales stage that they're in, and these are specific to Medicare sales stages. You'll see any reminders here, and you can click to add a reminder. That's the same as the reminders that you see when you look in here. One thing to note is that you can have contacts sharing the primary contact information. So, whoops, I don't want to click that. That makes the call. To view the contact. To update one of my records. So I'm just trying to copy this so that I can show you how to handle household links. So right now, Jane Doe and John Doe each have 2 separate phone numbers. If I update John's phone number so that it is the same as Jane's, when I save that, it's going to let me know that I can create this contact, but the entry is a potential duplicate. It will give you the link, and then I'll see Jane here. That's okay. I know they're married, so I'm going to close out of that. Save changes here. To be a unique record, you need a unique first name, last name, and either phone number or email address. So John and Jane can share a phone number. And I can have Jane Doe and John Doe with the same phone number because their first names are different. I could have Jane Doe and Jane Smith because their last names would be different. I just can't have two Jane Does with the same primary contact information. Own advice here, and I'm going to delete that in just a moment. I probably won't show you that, but I am going to delete that file as a best practice. We also have a learning center. This video training hub is the best place to go for our training videos. We make videos about all of our features, so that's the best place to go. We also have user guides, frequently asked questions, etc. That is Medicare Center with contact management and quote and e-app. Speaking of our features, we do have some exciting things coming over the next couple of weeks as well. We have Pearl's personalized agent websites. We have share quote with contact. We have contact management tags, real-time leads availability, switchers and cross-sells, and the Medicare Center mobile application. The mobile application has the same features as the web app that we've been going through here. The main difference between the Medicare Center mobile app and this web application is that when a call comes in, instead of seeing the incoming call banner at the top that we saw on the mobile app, you'll actually receive a push notification. You do not have to have the mobile app to take advantage of call recording, inbound and outbound, or quote and e-app. That concludes today's demo. Thank you so much for having me. I'm sure that our friends at Agent Pipeline will keep all of you in the loop as we release the new features that I've been discussing here. I hope everyone has a very successful AEP. Thank you so much.